Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Troy. Hey, listen, we all know that Ron DeSantis is a power-hungry fascist who's trying to control every aspect of life in the state of Florida. Maybe trying to bring some of that attitude to the White House for when he eventually becomes president as well. But check out his latest scheme to assert total control over that state. Check this out.
Now, lawmakers in Tallahassee are deciding whether to fund Florida's own branch of the military.
So it's part of the governor's budget proposal uncovered by News 6 investigator Eric Sandoval. He's been looking into what this military force would do. And Eric, is this something similar to the National Guard?
Yeah, actually, it's very similar. This force is actually called the Florida State Guard, not the National Guard. And Governor DeSantis revived this last year after it was disbanded at the end of World War II. Now, the State Guard is funded only by Florida taxpayers, and it reports directly to the governor. And now, Governor DeSantis wants millions of dollars more to get it up and running by July. June 15th of last year, Governor Ron DeSantis made the announcement that he wanted to bring back a military force that was Florida's own.
The Florida State Guard will be comprised of Floridians, and it will be designed to assist and help only Floridians.
The reason, the governor claimed the Florida National Guard, seen here rescuing Kissimmee residents after Hurricane Ian, wasn't providing enough resources. Florida's State Guard started last year with a budget of $10 million. News 6 has uncovered the governor now wants to increase that this year to $98 million. In his budget request, he's asking state lawmakers for $53 million to purchase marine and aviation equipment, $19 million to recruit and train State Guard troops, $22 million to build hangars and storage facilities. The rest would fund salaries for administrators. What is your take on the Florida State Guard? We brought that question to State Senator Victor Torres of Kissimmee.
I met with the National Guard.
He is the vice chair of the Senate Committee on Military and Veterans Affairs. He says he saw firsthand that Osceola County needed more National Guard help when Hurricane Ian flooded that area. But he says he has some concerns about reviving the Florida State Guard.
I don't want this money or this State Guard to go for border security. You know, I don't want it to be implemented where they're going to use them to go to Texas or the border or, no. We got our own issues here in the state of Florida.
DeSantis is asking for $98 million to fund the Florida State Guard, which would be his own personal private army, answerable only to Ron DeSantis. The Florida National Guard reports to DeSantis, reports to the governor of Florida, but also to the president of the United States, as all state National Guards do. So the president of the United States ultimately has final authority over the National Guard. Not this unit, not the Florida State Guard. This unit would be answerable only to Ron DeSantis with no federal intervention, with no intervention from the commander-in-chief, which is the president of the United States. Essentially, this would be Ron DeSantis' own personal military branch. And he could use it however he wanted. He could use the Florida State Guard to assist in his migrant kidnapping and human trafficking schemes, shipping migrants to other states to make a political point. He could send the Florida State Guard to Texas, to the Texas border, as part of another publicity stunt. To beef up militia presence on the southern border with Mexico. He could even potentially use it to put down peaceful protest in the state of Florida, because as was mentioned, it's only answerable to him. Now, this is the guy that's tried to consolidate every aspect of Florida life at the governor's level in his hands. This is the guy that's trying to take over the Disney Corporation within Florida by personally taking control of the Board of Trustees of Disney World and installing DeSantis loyalists on their board so that he would control Disney content within the state of Florida. This is the guy that's personally handpicked school board representatives for local school districts that are loyal to him and will only teach Florida students what he wants them to be taught. This is the guy that's fired boards of trustees from universities and appointed DeSantis loyalists and hardcore conservatives to the boards of local universities, so that higher education is only responsible in Florida, is only reportable to Ron DeSantis. He wants to control every aspect of life. Not to mention Florida laws that are now before the legislature that would give the state of Florida the right to take people's children away, even people from out of state, even people that aren't from Florida, if there's a suspicion that child is trans. Florida hasn't had a state guard unit in place since the end of World War II because, like most states, they rely on the National Guard. And this is not the time for the state of Florida to be dabbling in militias that are loyal only to the governor, especially to a governor with as many fascist tendencies as Ron DeSantis. Really scary stuff. Who knows what Ron DeSantis really wants to use this military, this new branch of the military, Florida's own private army, DeSantis' own private army. Who knows what he really intends for this force, but he's asking for $98 million to beef the force, the Florida State Guard force, from 400 troops to 1,500 troops, including spending millions of dollars on aviation equipment and marine equipment. Really, really scary stuff happening in the state of Florida under the fascist leadership of Ron DeSantis, and really giving us a preview of what life would be like in Ron DeSantis' America if he is elected president. This man seeks only to consolidate as much power in his own hands as possible. He does not believe in the legislative process, or at least he doesn't believe in it outside of the state of Florida, where he has total control over the Florida legislature. Once he gets to the United States Capitol and has to deal with folks who don't believe in the total control of Ron DeSantis, it might pose a little bit of a problem for him. But for now, really, really scary stuff. Ron DeSantis is growing, using taxpayer dollars to the tune of $98 million to grow his private, personal branch of the military in Florida, answerable only to Ron DeSantis. For MeidasTouch, this is Troy. Remember, smash that subscribe button to keep supporting independent media.
The best part of waking up? MAGA tears in my cup. Check out the new MAGA tears mug, available now at store.MeidasTouch.com. That's store.MeidasTouch.com. It's 100% union made right here in the USA. I know I'm not tired of winning yet. How about you? Get yours today.